Welcome to Pokemon Masters Council. I'm your host, Gym Leader Justin. We're flying solo for another how to use guide. Special shout out to all of the recent attraction to the channel. We really appreciate all the love and support, all of the thumbs up, all of the shares, all of the new subscribers, the views. Really appreciate it. Keep that up. Share it with anybody that you think would enjoy this. And without further ado, let's get on to the main boy himself. One of my top 10 favorites. We're checking out Arcanine today. So, Arcanine came out in Kanto. It's really good. Big old lion dog Pokemon. Named this after my own dog, because I love this poke so much. I've always loved Arcanine. He's a big boy. Big happy boy. And this dude's pretty premier. So, this guy is like this is probably the best Intimidate user in the entire meta right now. Especially right now that Incineroar is not in the game. That boy with Fake Out and Parting Shot and Intimidate and all that good stuff. But what we do have is Jake. What we do have is Arcanine. He's got a great move pool. He's got great stats. And he's got some really strong abilities. So, let's get into it here. So, we've got 90 HP, which is actually really respectable. That's like an A-. That's really good. 90 HP is legit. And then 110 attack, very respectable. 80 for both defenses, 100 special attack, which is actually pretty good as that is too, and 95 speed. So he's got like an A- across the board with all of his stats. Like he's doing, and he's got like B+ for his defenses. But with Intimidate, it makes his physical defense even stronger. And obviously being Fire type, he gets Will-O-Wisp. So really good access here to these stats. You can kind of plug and play however you want. Spoiler alert, we will be showing off some different types of sets here. Mixed, special, physical, all kinds of cool stuff. Let's talk about the abilities, okay? So he is pure Fire type, and that's important because what that means is that we have Intimidate, Flash Fire, and Justified. So Intimidate, people that don't know, just in case, when you switch in, or when the ability, becomes active again, you intimidate one or both enemies if you're playing VGC on the opposing side of the team and cuts their attack by one stage. Flash Fire, if this Pokemon gets hit by a fire move by your allies also, like Lava Plume, it doesn't take any damage. He's immune to the damage, but instead, his next fire move that he shoots off will be stronger. But the fact of the matter is you are immune to the damage, which is why Flash Fire has any use at all, basically. And then Justified, if you get hit by a dark move, really strong, you will be able to boost your attack stat. It's only one stage, but it is pretty legit for what it is. You can, back in the day, the VGC combo was to run a partner with really low attack and use the move Beat Up, because it hits once for all of your people in your party. So it would basically hit 4 times and give you 4 Justified boosts, or 3 times and 3 stuff like that. But today we're basically going to be focusing on the Intimidate, because that's essentially what Arcanine has going for it in terms of how we are going to organize these set guides or these how to use guide videos. It's basically going to get your foot in the door as usual. This is not the only way or ways that you can run Arcanine. This dog is one of the best, most versatile Pokemon in the entire meta. Usage stats are through the roof right now. He's one of the top most used Pokemon in the game, and it's because he can fulfill so many different roles: offense, defense, mixed, utility, all kinds of cool stuff. Being able to have a Pokemon that can switch in on some of the common threats, he resists Fairy. So he fills a lot of niches. He's a really strong Pokemon. So let's get in here and let's talk about the couple of different options for some movesets for this big old doggy. Alright, so first up, this is sort of the bread and butter, the tried and true. This is the Jake set. So this is like the stock standard, go fast, hit hard. I know we say that a lot, but it's kind of a thing. This is the glass cannon build. This is the build that I like the most. This is the one that I, refer to as quote-unquote the Jake set. My buddy, my doggy Jake. And so this one's going to be utilizing his really respectable 110 attack and 95 speed. So in VGC, maybe you want Protect. You can run this Choice Banded. You can run this Life Orb. You can run Heavy Duty Boots, because he is pure Fire, so the Heavy Duty Boots is important to, especially in like a 3v3 meta. where hazards are more prevalent than VGC, heavy duty boots could be a really good option for Arcanine. Another good option would be the new item, Clear Amulet. Like I said, he will be able to ignore any stat drops of any kind, so from your opponent, so that's really, really good. Basically, we're going to be utilizing the Flare Blitz. Wild Charge is really good for coverage, and this boy gets Extreme Speed. Oh, wow, is that powerful. And then, if you want more of like the stock standard, like just straight across the board, it's probably going to be a mixed attacker, and it's going to have Flare Blitz, Extreme Speed, Snarl, and Protect. That's like the stock standard VGC set. But again, this one is a little bit more pushing towards that offense rather than just being like the stock standard sort of utility Intimidate poke. That's a mixed like offensive support. This one's more just like straight up offense, blowing holes with cannons, right? So, being able to Terra Fire and then Flare Blitz, especially in the sun, could be a lot of damage. Obviously, Flash Fire is an option to then boost it even more. His Extreme Speed is very, very powerful, and it's worth noting that in a situation where Dragonite's, revenge killable with this Extreme Speed, if he's at the HP where an Arcanine's Extreme Speed will kill it, we're faster, which means our Extreme Speed will go ahead of the Dragonites. And for people that don't know, Dragonite's been popping off right now going Terra Normal Extreme Speed, which obviously is something that Arcanine can do. So just want to do a special shout out. If you are looking for that super powerful Extreme Speed sweeper with the Terra Normal getting the boost, Arcanine's a great poke that can do it too, and he's faster than Dragonite. So, he'll be able, in 1v1 matchup, we're actually set up pretty nice against him. Like I said, if you want to run Snarl on this set, you totally can. He also gets things like Crunch, Play Rough, Close Combat. Wow, this dog has such a crazy good move pool. Alrighty, we are on to set number 2. This one is the Zero special. So we started off with my favorite. This one's Zero's favorite way to run Arcanine is in terms of like the category of like an Intimidate or tanky poke. He actually likes to lean into the special because people don't really expect it. They expect you to have the Extreme Speed, the Flare Blitz, and then the Snarl. But what we're doing here is we're running Heat Wave Snarl. And then he's got a lot of options. For a tank set, if you're going to run 3v3, he does get Will-O-Wisp and Morning Sun. Again, you can run Protect. You could even do a Terra Blast on here, and depending on what you might want, maybe Terra Water, Terra Ground, Terra Dark. There's a lot of good options. You could Terra Dark for the Snarl. Otherwise, Terra Blast has a lot of potential options. You could Terra Grass, could be really good coverage. So there are a lot of options here if you want to do this offensive set. So we are going more bulky, some special defense investment to help out, because then the Intimidate makes us bulky on the physical side, and then we have the Willow to help us even more on the physical side, so we put the investment into the special. You could go just like straight up max speed and special attack. That could be an option too, but we want to show off the fact that he can run tank sets too. This is built around the Intimidate. You could Flash Fire here, but you'd probably change up the EV spread a bit. But yeah, this is like an Intimidate tank set. So this is like a really good just special wall. And Heat Wave in VGC is really, really good. Obviously in singles that could be Flamethrower. Snarl's insane because again in VGC it in both 3v3 and VGC it lowers special attack. But VGC it's a spread move, so you're hitting both enemies. Heat Wave, VGC spread move, hitting both enemies. Yeah, it's crappy accuracy, but you're still just throwing out. This isn't your main sweeper, right? This is sort of your tank or utility poke in this build. So just being able to throw out those heat waves could be pretty powerful, especially in the sun. This is a very good supportive Intimidate Arcanine for a sun team, because throwing out those heat waves in the sun would just be even more residual damage that your opponent really has to then focus time and energy to take out the Arcanine rather than taking out your dedicated sun sweeper. And because he's so bulky with Snarl and Intimidate and potentially Willow, it could be a real and then again in the sun, Morning Sun, which for people that don't know, it heals you, but it is weather dependent. If you are in the sun, you get more healing. If you are in any other weather, you get less healing. And if you're neutral weather, you get right in that middle bowl of porridge. So being able to use Morning Sun in the sun is very, very powerful. Gives Arcanine a very strong sustain move. Last but not least, we wanted to show off the fact that, yeah, you could, in fact, do the either mixed set or the physical tank as well. So you can still run really bulky. You can run the Flare Blitz in extreme speed and then the Snarl. You could run speedy with this one too. Not necessarily, again, he's just so flexible. You can kind of take anything that we're talking about in this video and kind of, oh, I like that piece here and this piece here and that. It's like you're building a Lego set or something. You just take whatever parts you want and kind of put them together and make your own thing. Arcanine is just so good. He fits so many niches. So this one is going to be showing off the fact that he does get access to a really good support move in VGC called Howl. He also gets Helping Hand for what it's worth, which is really good. So again, very good tank. Very good like offensive support mon. Howl raises your and your allies' physical attack by 1 stage. So really good on certain teams, like maybe you're pairing this next to a Garchomp or a King Gambit or whatever big threats are in the meta, right? Palafin. And now he's got a +1, while Arcanine also is getting a +1. And being tanky and intimidate, and again, he can still Morning Sun and Willow and all of that stuff depending on how you want to build your set around. He's got so many options, but the Howl really comes in and allows him, and again, you can run this as a fast offensive EV spread like the first set where it's just Glass Cannon Arcanine. You can do that too. And then he's, maybe Howl protect 2 attacks or just Howl 3 attacks or whatever you want to do. There's so many options. We're not judging you. Just remember that you're basically taking the info from all 3 of these sets, like the Willow, like the Morning Sun, Protect, Howl, Helping Hand. Just keep in mind that he has access to all of these moves depending on what your team might need. So, in conclusion, Arcanine is an insanely strong Pokemon in the meta. As you can see on screen, he is the 3rd highest used Pokemon in VGC right now based on Pikalytics, so like he's just doing all the good work that we could imagine. So very, very strong poke, very excited to see him popping off. Really, really happy to put out this set guide. Make sure if you liked this video, you click the thumbs up. We really appreciate it. If that big giant button down there is red, we hope that today is the day that us and this how to use Arcanine guide was the day that we earned your subscription. If you are subscribed, we want to remind you to hit that bell button to stay notified anytime we put up more how to use guides for Generation 9 Scarlet and Violet competitive Pokemon season. Special shout out for my brother-in-arms, Zero, who couldn't be here for this recording. And until next time, I'm Gym Leader Justin. Council's adjourned.